Do you want real experience as a data analyst? Experience that you can show to future employers to land a job, experience to stand out from the competition in these times? Well, it's possible. Even if you've never worked a day in data, you can get experience. And today I'm going to show you how to do it step by step. So when you're starting out, you're instantly hit in the face by job listings asking you for experience. Sometimes even for the entry-level jobs, which is crazy, but that's a topic for another time. Now we're talking about the reality and what we can do to succeed right now. So why are companies asking for experience? It's not because they care about the exact amount of time and the job position that you've had. The reason why they're asking you for experience is to show that you're ready for the job, or you're at least more ready than somebody else. We like to think that companies have it all figured out, but hiring somebody is scary, and they're taking a risk of onboarding the wrong person into the company. This takes them a lot of time, energy, and resources, and there are a lot of things that can go wrong when you hire somebody that's not suitable for the job. So experience is just a simple way to filter people out and make it more likely for their candidates to be a success for the company. But working a job is not the only way to show that you would be a good candidate, because think about it. When companies ask you for a degree, they're doing the exact same thing. They're trying to pre-qualify you and therefore be more likely to get a good candidate and avoid the bad ones. That's all a degree really is for companies, and that's why companies sometimes even want a degree even if it's completely unrelated to the field. It's just one of the many filtering mechanisms. Now forget about a degree, because that's not the purpose of this video. This is something that anybody can do even if you don't have a degree. It is to build something that can show that you have the skills, and if you do this properly, it can help you bypass their filtering mechanism and start competing for the actual jobs. And yes, it's by doing projects, but not any type. It can be useless if you do the wrong things. Projects are a way for you to apply your skills to a realistic scenario, and while it's never going to be 100% realistic, it can actually give you a pretty good idea of what it's like to work as a data analyst, and that's why it's valuable. So how do you choose a project to start working on? Well, you evaluate what employers are looking for, and currently the most in-demand skills are SQL, Python, Tableau, and Power BI, and of course Excel. If you can include some of these skills in your project, it's going to make it stronger, simply because it's what recruiters are looking for and what the companies use in their day-to-day tasks. It shows them that you can already work with the skills that you would use on the job, and thereby it's making you a more credible candidate. But really what they're looking for is not just your ability to work with SQL and clean some data. They're looking for your ability to understand the thought process and analytically solve problems, breaking them down step by step. This is why it's not essential that you have a perfect project where you get to all the conclusions and you have some perfect data set to work with. There might be data missing, unclear stakeholders, time limits or other constraints, and just problems that arise. And showing that you can make the best out of the situation is huge. So when do you start doing projects? Well, I would say as soon as possible. Don't see projects as just a way of, showing that you're ready for the job. They're also fantastic for learning, and it's why many courses nowadays try to include some projects and different things in the curriculum. Starting early with projects will give you a huge advantage rather than just graduating from a course and then having the stress to, start doing it. So how do you start doing projects? Well, I would recommend most beginners to start with kind of guided projects. It's easier to get started with on YouTube or Coursera or any other site for that matter. You can find plenty of free alternatives, and it's a good way to get started when you're not exactly sure how to do it. You can also think of a problem that you would like to solve, whether it's something personal to you or something that you find interesting. You can also just get ideas from other places and kind of try to adapt them and make them your own. Like when you take a guided project and then you customize it. Now, once you have a couple of projects, it's important to build your portfolio, but you do not need as many projects as you might think. Quality over quantity, but I talk more about how to build a portfolio in this video on the screen, so check it out because you don't want to make the mistake on this final important step. I'll see you over there.